Yeah, so like last lecture, you guys like we discussed the basic concepts of arrays and like what it's used for. So same like today is a brief session about arrays, which will again see like some of its example and concepts. So like you may clear up your concepts and start doing the exercises which are remaining. So arrays is like what we mentioned last time. It's just like a set of data that holds like variables or values like of same data type. So for example, you can store like a set of numbers like with data type integers, say n number of numbers. So for example, let's say 10 or something. So yeah, so that's the thing with array, and even like the size and type of arrays cannot be changed after declare. So like once you declare and put the size, for example, let's say int subjects, let's say subject marks, let's say 10. So like the size can't be changed after it's assigned to be 10. So it will just store like 10 values in it inside the marks array. So here it's like the concept. So it's just shown with an example like float. You have your data type with an array called marks, which you can hold up to 100 values. So like some of its general examples where we can use like arrays. So I think you guys know the difference between arrays and struct also, as you attended some of the structs lecture also, in which like you can group all the data types and stuff with like, for example, you have like 5 integer values or like 10 character values and strings and etc. But in arrays, it's just like it can group it's a set of a similar data type. So some of its examples are given like, for example, let's say temperatures in every hour, or like list of employees in an organization, products and their cost sold. So there we'll use like arrays, test scores of marks, say daily rainfall data. So most of we can see like we can use like ints and characters and float doubles accordingly in these examples. So the declaration of an array, its syntax is like pretty much simple. It's just the data type followed by our array name, and in your square brackets there need to be the array size written followed by a colon. So just like example is given float, say marks, it's 5, so it will hold 5 floating point values in it. So like the elements of array and how to access it. So like again, as you told, if the indexing starts from 0, so when you need to access an element, it's like, for example, if you have stored 10 values in mark, then it's just like mark 0, mark 1, it goes on to up till 9, because the indexing starts from 0, and if someone like the position of it is like +1. So if, for example, user has asked like to store n values, so if you want to use the and get the value of the last element, then it should be like your array name and followed by n-1, because that's the index in which you will get access to the last value. And for position, it's just the order. For example, if you like to get the position of the last one, it's just like the n. So hope that's clear. And even the address, I don't know, like this topic which we discussed with you, the if you want like to get the address of that, and for example, if you have a mark 0, it's a floating point variable. For example, let's say it's given like 2120d, then the next address of the next value, let's say mark 1, will be 2124, an increment of 4, because the size of the float is 4 bytes. Similarly, like you can obtain the size of all the data types, which is like more or less 4820 and so on, 248 and so on, of all the like 6 to 8 data types. So you will just get like generally in this order, where you will find the increment of, let's say, 4 or 8 in the next one. But it's again like not always true. There will be some exceptions here and there which you need to take care of. It's not nevertheless an issue. Like how to initialize an array declaration is the similar task, and an example is mentioned like int mark 5. You can just like include your elements which you want, the 5 elements, by the circular bracket, secondary brackets, and even you can declare like the second method without like letting them know how many elements are there. both either of them will work. And yeah, they will store accordingly as shown, like mark 0, the value stored will be 9, mark 1 4, so on and so forth. Mark 4 equal to 5. Yeah, so it's just like, again I told, like for example, if you declare, like say, let's say character array, like character us, and let's say, and you are like, you have done like 100 variable 100 values in it, and for example if you try to access like the 101st or any element, let's say 200th value, then like always it won't show an error, it will just show like it's an array index out of bound situation. So like they will give you some, there will be some under like an average value or a rough value which you will get accordingly. So always it won't give you an errors, it will be an exception which will like teach you to tackle it afterwards. And
And
generally
only
there are
in
like,
C, there is an exception of our out of bound, like it will take values more than the defined values. But in other languages, you have to remember that it will go out of bounds and it won't be taking any input values
no,
if
hey,
you want to do.
in Java
Yeah,
and Python also exceptions are there of out of bound.
as in it won't take any inputs, no.
No, like if we put the exception, it would take. It is there pretty much in all of the languages. The exception, just like different frameworks and stuff. So in Java and Python also. Yeah, also in C. So his point was like we can use that and add more values. So like I have put in like 100, for example, you can use and tag the 101st, 102nd values even if I enter. So generally, like there are three types of arrays. Most probably, like broadly, there are like 1D array and multi-dimensional array, and also like the 2D array, which is separated. So it's just that, for example, like in a 1D array, it's just like a list of item can be given like a variable name, and we can just use a subscript in a 1D array. So it's called so. Syntax is again your data type followed by your variable name and size. So as the example is given here, they have stored like a float, height, int group, and character name with all the assigned limits, and they've just used it. And like after initialization, you can see like, for example, if it's number 5 numbers they have taken, and just they have entered separate values, and this is how it gets stored. Get a brief in this figure given below. So initialization is again like done 2 times, at compilation time as well as at runtime. So compilation time is like, for example, the example is given. Its syntax is pretty much simple, like your data type, your array name, and your size, and like the values of set which you want in that array in that curly braces. So for example, it's mentioned here int number 3. 3 numbers they have taken, like 0, 5, and 4 respectively. So it gets stored accordingly, like you get your 0, 1, and 2, and the values assigned to it are like 0, 5, and 4 respectively, the places. And runtime initialization is the thing like which we will deal with most of the times. Like we always take user inputs, as like we rarely assign the values until and unless it's needed. So in this case, like we'll take a loop and run and store the get the values. For example, the x with I, so you will get like all of the values. For example, it's given limit up to 10, so it will run 10 times and it will store like 10 of the values inside the array. You can later use them, print them, or whatsoever, which you will see in coming examples. So here is the example mentioned, in which like you have to create an integer of size 5 and like take its value and later then display it. So it's just like the basic thing. They have taken like ARR find limit 5. I ask the elements from the user to run up till 5, I is equal to 0, I is less than 5. We store the values and then later we'll just print it with ARRI. We'll get the stipulated output. We'll get printed the 5 values of that. Now the next case is 2D arrays. So like as we knew, like the most basic set was the 1D array, but like if we go and if you want to store like two sets of it, then it will be like your two-dimensional array. Basically, it will be used in like your all the operations regarding your matrices, determinants, etc., etc. It's an important concept. And again, like the syntax of 2D array is just your data type followed by your array name, and there will be two square brackets like values of x and y. So basically, in simple words, you can just understand uh, them to be your rows and columns. So it will be asked accordingly. So as mentioned in the figure, like you have three columns and two rows, and to access the variables at the set, for example, if I want to access a variable like let's say 0, 0 as shown in figure, then I have to just use a 0 and the 0 like that. So you can access the variable like that. Pretty much simple.
So basically, whenever you guys storing in double dimension array, it is stored as a matrix. Remember that. However, you
Stored
read
in the
matrix.
format of a matrix because it's easier to obtain the value and like
In normal
operations.
maths, the index starts from 1. Here, we started from 0. So that's the only
Yeah.
difference.
All the indexes in your programming language starts from 0. It's like general. So like initializing 2D arrays. So it's just like as I mentioned, like taken A, taken 3 and 4, and they have just like this is like compile time execution entering variables. So they have just like put in the array values, taken like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, 9, 10, 11, and can do it also in this way to make it more clearer. Whatsoever way we can follow. Now, like accessing, as I already mentioned, you can access using the general matrix method which we use for accessing. Yeah, so this is an example which I took like for storing elements in matrix, two-dimensional matrix, and printing it. So just like stored, declared an array 3 3 with 3 rows and 3 columns, and basically you can understand like that. We used loops I and j, both will run up till 3. We have just taken the values of the values of the array element, stored it, and later printed it. So you will get like all of your values printed. You guys have to try and try. It's the only like case you'll get familiar and do like enough practice with arrays. So one another example I mentioned, two-dimensional array. Example to find the largest of n numbers, not the largest of the numbers. So we just taken an array A, just to the pointer variable n, and like the number of elements like user wanted to enter. We just stored the array elements, entered and stored the array elements, and the largest element, it's just like the similar operation which we used to do to find it, more or less that. We have obtained a max by that. We have returned the maximum value, printed it in output. And yeah, it's pretty much the same for functions which you used. We will not tell that. It's up to you. Now we are like towards the end of our course. You might be familiar with it. And again, another example of 2D array to do like subtraction of two matrices. And there is a small assignment after this. Like you have to try and practice with the subtraction or using the four functions. This is the general thing which I took here. So it's more or less the same, like taken some variables, taken first and second, the two matrices, and the difference which I've made, it's like store the difference between first and second matrices and enter the array elements in both of them. We have stored them in both the case, as you can see, and second also it is the same. Difference, like calculated the difference pretty much simple, like take a difference C and D run inside the same, which I used to do before. Stored, printed it there, and that's it. By this, you'll get the difference between both of the matrices. Let's say you enter all those values, and you'll get the stipulated difference between both of them. And the last important concept is multi-dimensional array. So like, see, again, there are languages which won't support multi-dimensional array. So C is the one which supports. Java to an extent does, but not like. So again, it's like dependent on to which variable programming languages. So mainly like there is single dimensional and double dimensional in all of them. Multi-dimensional is an exceptional, but it's fortunately it's present here. We can, so generally it's like having one or more subscripts. So again, it's like 2D. You have like n number of subscripts, and you can use accordingly. So it just goes like, generally it doesn't need to be categorized separately as multidimensional. It just like goes up to infinite, but it's the same. For example, let's say as mentioned here, the syntax is like the data type followed by the array name, and you're like all of the status goes up till like n, how much ever value you want to use and store, and it will pretty much go simply. Like generally, for example, your character cube is given, and let's say its dimensions are mentioned like say 50, 60, and 30. So you can just store them, and in a similar way like you used to do, just you have to include one more square bracket all of the time while storing it and printing it and writing on it whatsoever. So the same thing, it will go more or less. I don't think so, except one or two program will need to use it. Rest it's up to that. And yeah, it was a brief explanation on arrays. Again, we have not explained you and like all of the depth concepts because we want you to try and ask like a lot of doubts and stuff regarding your concepts. So it's just that. Kindly complete the remaining exercise activities and the array exercises also, like pretty much simple exercises. Like you just have to find the largest of the numbers, largest of n numbers, add, find product and stuff. And first, yeah, appending exercise is also complete. Thank you. Any doubts regarding any concepts or anything?